We're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Changeling the Lost Smoky Mountain Wilds. I am William Orshani, and I am your storyteller for this Changeling the Lost 2nd edition Chronicle. And joining me today in a somewhat more limited crowd than normal, we have Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I play Joe Arbor, and I am an elemental notary.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Jackson Montgomery, Marlene Dubois, Ferris Changeling.
And Drevian.
Drevian, I'm playing Frisian, the Darkling Hunterheart.
And neither Julia nor Austin will be joining us tonight. We may have Austin back next week, but Julia will not be back until I think the week after that. I think the week after that we might not have game. Yes, we will not have game the week after that. So the next session we have after next week, Julia will be back.
So we don't have it the 13th?
The 13th is one of the days that
Correct.
It's one of the days, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
The 13th, and there was an extra one. I got
the 27th.
27th, yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Aside from that, yes, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, eat the rich, insert topical news reference here.
Yep.
Did I say Black Lives Matter at the beginning of that?
Yes, you did.
Okay. My brain was like, you didn't say one of the things that you normally do.
We're with it this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. We're live.
And something's about to happen. But
I hope.
When last we left off, the group had... God, my brain is completely fucking scattered. Okay. The group had gathered and conversed with individuals in the commons about what was potentially available for them going on through Halloween. Spoken with Autumn, Fright, and other members of the Fall Court regarding potential options for what the group might want to do activities-wise on the eve of All Hallows. While names, my brain is completely gone. While Cassandra spent some time with her sister and her spouse and her sister's significant other, learning some important details like the fact that her sister is a werewolf. But her sister, Cassandra and her sister will be spending some time over the weekend getting to know each other and getting once again and sort of refreshing on what all they've missed while they've been apart from each other, which leaves the majority of your group up to your own devices for this weekend of terror, as Halloween is, I'm gonna say, tomorrow night, based on our current timeline.
I think so.
It's also tomorrow night in real life, so there's that.
You know what? Let's go with it.
But I believe all of you have finally reconvened back at Marlena's manor house.
Mm-hmm.
So you all have the run of the place in the evening to decide what your plans are for tomorrow.
I remember there being something about harvesting glamour.
Yes, there was you had asked about potential options to harvest glamour, and it had been mentioned that the festivities around Autumn Fright's haunted house would be an ideal place for the harvesting of glamour tomorrow. Because not only would there be a significant amount of fear from those who wanted to partake in the haunted house, there would also be everything that happens around Halloween, partying, having fun, drinking and eating. All of that would be going on for the several blocks around the haunted house, making it a generally ideal harvesting ground, no matter what kind of emotion you're hunting for.
Now refresh the player. I remember what does it matter the specific feeling that glamour is harvested off of as far as when you spend it?
No, it's just a matter of what kind of feeling you're looking for. Generally, determines how you need to approach it.
Okay.
Some people have merits or skills that particularly incentivize them toward harvesting a particular kind of glamour.
Got it.
Intimidation would be used for harvesting fear, for instance, or carousing and socialize might be used for harvesting joy or gluttony or anything like that. The whatever form of extreme emotion you need to induce or encourage in the people around you in order to try and drain off some of that extra energy from them.
All right. It's been a minute since I read the glamour.
And of course, if you over harvest on a specific emotion, as if you harvest more than your maximum glamour will allow, you do run the risk of suffering a condition related to the specific emotion that you were harvesting.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. All right. So yeah. Why? See, now you've passed it on to me. Oh, Frisian was interested in. Looks like he was interested in harvesting some. What's your specific type of glamour?
Fear.
I believe fear was what he was looking for.
Fear.
I have one of those merits for harvesting glamour.
So, what do you think, Frisian? You up for a fright?
Sounds like a good time. I have no idea what to do though.
No, don't know what to do in what way. Have you never been to a haunted house before?
No. I have no memory of really any Halloween festivities.
Okay,
So
that's
So I don't know what to expect or how to prepare for that or anything.
fair. Well, basically, haunted house is full of actors generally who pay to scare people, and people come in and pay to be scared in a safe, non-threatening manner. Like, people get chased by chainsaws, or there are demons or things jump out at you, or people rattling jail cells, or tied up in a straitjacket. It really depends on the theme of the haunted house, but that's generally what you get.
What's a chainsaw?
Okay, this is going to be a terrible explanation.
It's a motor-powered saw blade.
Ah,
Portable.
Yeah, and it's a saw blade that goes around and around and around and cuts things.
that seems a lot easier than a handsaw. Those take so long on large trees.
I should note that chainsaws are older than World War II.
Yes. I looked at the wrong part. They didn't get popular until afterwards. But also, Frizzy is from a Caribbean country.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, you
So there's a good chance before joining the Marines, Frizzly probably never encountered one, and in the Marines, they were probably given handsaws for dealing with trees.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should just be able to take you to a haunted house, and I mean, you can just leech off what's generally emanating there.
All right.
We don't necessarily have to do the scaring ourselves.
Yeah, you can just mooch off other people that are already doing the scaring.
I mean, that's one way to put it.
I mean, if you want to like actually scare people, that's cool too. Like,
It sounds like you're saying, yeah, if you want to be lazy about it.
I didn't say lazy. I think it's efficient. Let somebody else do all the work and you get the reward. That's not lazy. That's efficient. Why work twice as hard to get the same result?
Out of character, the thought that comes to mind is like, there's a reason she married into a rich family.
Oh, I love it.
Again, efficiency. Okay. I can do what I love to do, and I don't have to worry about financial security. Plus,
we could all be so lucky.
Right. Plus, I love the person I'm married to. I don't care if he's rich or not. That's just a bonus.
James says off to one side.
Listen, all I knew about you when you walked into my shop is that you were an argumentative piece of shit. I could not get you out of my head, okay? Annoyance was the biggest one, okay?
James, I'm curious. What were you wearing at that particular time?
If I were to hazard a guess, I believe I had just come back from like a early morning social event that I wanted nothing to do with, so probably button down with rolled up sleeves, black vest, and some kind of dress slacks.
Rich person.
Not necessarily.
I like how my out of character comment.
Oh, 100%. We're rolling with this.
Yeah. Because Frisian's smart enough to not say something like that out loud.
Yes, because owning a dress shirt and dress slacks and a vest just screams rich people.
Listen, I have seen the dress slacks and dress shirt of a person who is not rich and a person who is rich. Those are not the same types of clothing.
I didn't know the difference. Okay?
I'm sure you didn't.
I wasn't peeking at labels like, oh, hey, let's see what label this is. Is it, is it Ralph Lauren or is it, the other fucking one, Faded Glory? I don't know.
I'm sure you didn't.
I just want to point out that you knew Ralph Lauren before you knew Faded Glory.
Not wrong.
You are not helping.
No. Just not helping you. It's very helpful.
Lucky you're cute. You know that?
Well, thank you.
I am the luckiest man around.
Damn you all. And I mean that in the most loving way possible.
Anyways,
Anyway.
Just mooching off of people being scared does not seem like a good way to partake on the festivities.
Oh,
well, no, but there's plenty of partaking to be done after you're done eaten. You take a visit to the catering table and then you go dancing.
Feel like it's
Metaphorically.
somewhere.
I remember a ball where someone did that and they ended up throwing up.
That's about where I thought that metaphor was going.
That's why you don't generally eat and then go spin around for quite some time.
There are many different types of dancing.
Some of them vertical, some of them horizontal.
Well, I wasn't going that way with it.
Oh, I
Wait,
was.
what? I'm lost. I'm lost again.
It's okay.
It's the
It's an innuendo,
it's fine.
darling.
Joe is talking about the true meaning of Halloween, hoeing.
I thought that's just like every holiday for you.
Arbor Day. I do not put out on Arbor Day.
Really? Is that by choice or just a matter of that you hate the holiday?
It's a matter of I forget that it's a holiday.
You and everybody. Unless your last name is Arbor, in which you like are constantly correcting.
Yeah, that's a point at which you can't forget about it. The number of fucking... You know, everybody thinks that they're making that joke for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of a few names like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to scare people, you can scare people. I'm just saying.
I'm still hung up. What's Arbor Day? I thought that was their last name.
Arbor Day is
Arbor, Arbor, is a
As in
holiday
wood.
about trees.
Yeah.
Arbor, Arber, is our last name.
specifically Arbor Day is a day of conservation.
Okay.
As it turns out, the human race is really good at destroying trees, so they had to create a national holiday to at least try and keep some of them in the ground.
It's a day that was created so one day a year we can say, oh, I planted a tree, I'm a good person, and then completely decide to destroy the world for the other 364.
That.
I thought most of the Christian holidays were meant to just make you feel like a good person.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay, you know
I'm gonna hold off on that because I have some feelings.
Okay, we all have feelings about that. Back to scaring people, okay? Everybody can agree on scaring people, right? It's a thing that unites all of us. We all want to scare somebody. What's your particular brand? You want us to grab you like a fake chainsaw? You want like a mask? You want like just to like creep up on people and just like be right there and stare and say nothing?
I feel like you're gonna have to do more than just vaguely unnerve people.
What, you talk about like chasing them with a bloody prop knife and
I'm talking about if you're trying to create the fear yourself, we're looking for real, sincere, extreme fear, right?
Yeah, as probably one of the only people here who's got any amount of experience going out to harvest. If you're trying to get a good amount, trying to gather ambient glamour from an event that's already going on is more difficult unless it's already there in the extreme, like a music concert or like the vicinity
a haunted house.
Yeah, something like that. If you're trying to get it yourself, you need to cause a level of emotion in someone that is roughly equivalent on that scale, like someone going through a haunted house or rocking out at a concert. You need to get them to feel so much emotion that it overflows.
Out of
So it's the
character.
difference between being at an orgy and trying to start your own orgy.
Something like that. I'm pretty certain you can get a decent amount of glamour if you're a good enough lay, though.
I mean, fair.
Do what now?
Let's talk about fear. Generally not something you want in that kind of a situation, although there are all types.
We're not kink shaming here.
We're not kink shaming.
Kink asking why, yes, but not kink shaming.
Kink questioning. So how are you going to go about scaring someone?
I'm not sure. I don't really know what all the options are. Out of character, I think it'd be really funny to make Frisian one of those like people that slide around and shoot up sparks.
What are you talking?
What?
The ones in haunted houses who like have like dull metal blades and just grind them on the metal walls to kick sparks up around the people walking through.
Like not
I know
even
exactly
just walking,
what you're talking about.
Not
doing
the ones that
the
walk,
Freddy Krueger, the claw drag for sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except they go running and they'll like drop to their knees and slide on like
And yeah, just
padded
kick
knees.
sparks up to terrify people. Yeah.
I mean, that is a point. We can just find a place that needs a volunteer for a haunted house and you can volunteer.
I believe Autumn Fright said that changelings are open to volunteer on Halloween.
Encouraged, even. I think, more the merrier type situation.
Like I'm just not sure of a good way to go about doing it because what are people actually afraid of nowadays?
Everything.
Everything.
If you want something more specific, existential dread is very big right now, but that's hard to do on like a personal level.
We're starting up an A24 haunted house.
But if you're looking for something that's like easy to do and like spontaneous jump scares, anything out of a recent horror movie.
You walk in the front door and there's just an electric post.
I'd say clowns, but I feel like that'd set somebody else off in here rather than the person you're looking for.
Eh. Jackson doesn't have that fear. Just Jeremy.
Yeah, but as a storyteller, I really don't feel like leaning into that.
That's fair. That's fair. And I appreciate that. I mean, volunteering for a haunted house is going to be the easiest way to actively scare people that is not going to get you arrested.
That's very true.
Because otherwise, it's just waiting for people to come around corners and leaping at them in this scare outfit. And then they're going to call the police and we have to deal with that. And
then there's probable cause and all that shit.
I'm pretty certain last year somebody set up a drone to be a ghost and started scaring people that way.
What, just like put a sheet on a drone and have it fly around?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, it was a little bit more complicated than a sheet, but yeah, pretty much.
I would hope so.
What's a drone?
It's a flying robot that spies on people.
It is an autonomous flying device that is not manned by any one person. It is
Right.
remote control piloted.
Oh, neat.
And
So-
nowadays they're small and have really good flight controls, so you can just sort of hang the appearance of a ghost on one. So you got a flying, spook machine.
So I would say, so clowns are out. I would say werewolves or vampires, except those tend to get a little bit more kinky nowadays than
Yeah, I'm gonna say werewolves can still work, but vampires in general are considered more sexy than scary nowadays.
You have not seen enough vampire movies, my friend.
No, actually, I have, and I've seen the people who still think the most monstrous of vampires are sexy.
I mean, fair, but people who don't think, people who think werewolves are not are scarier than sexy, I present to you Bram Stoker's Dracula for one. There's a whole scene in that. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyways, regardless, if Frizzing is going to volunteer, they're gonna have an outfit for him that fits the theme. They don't just say, "Oh, you showed up in a werewolf outfit. We will put you in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre room."
Yeah. I mean,
On the other hand, if we are dressing Frizzing as a werewolf and jumping out at people in the woods, that's a whole separate thing.
that's just Saturday night.
It's a good way to get stabbed, is what I'm going to say. Or arrested.
I mean, I'm the wind. What are they going to do to me?
Well, you are the wind that currently has a corporeal body and can be shot.
I was sounding really cool. And you have to go and point out logic.
I know, but I can't let you actually get overconfident.
Also,
Why? I'm underconfident. I need to compensate.
Sweetie, we were all thinking that. James just gave voice to it.
You don't always need to compensate.
No, I'm not. Okay. So volunteering, haunted house. Don't have to worry about a costume. Is this what we've determined?
I mean, it seems like a plan. I'm pretty
It's
certain
the
Autumn
easiest
Fright can get us
plan.
set up with whatever we need if we want to take part in the haunted house.
I mean, it sounds like fun. I can't kill anybody yet, so I might as well like scare people.
Why? I'm gonna unpack that later.
Joe,
Violet, no.
I'm talking about the fetches for the record. If you want to get technical, they're not really people.
I mean, I agree with that.
Okay? I'm not talking about killing actual people.
I'm just
why'd you say
saying,
murder?
you've been making a lot of references towards stabbing people and such lately. Not always regarding fetches.
Are we sure Joe's not the antagonist of one of those Halloween movies?
No, because when I look in her eyes, I don't just see blackness, a dark evil, or whatever it is that stupid fucking doctor says.
Wait, which one?
Dr. Loomis, Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
I looked into his eyes. All I saw was pure. I should know these phrases because I love that franchise so much. But like, he is the worst doctor.
Like for some reason, you said blackness, and all I thought was back to like Jaws, the black eyes, like a doll's eyes kind of thing.
No, it's I have to.
What's Jaws?
It's a shark movie.
Shark.
Oh, okay.
Movie about a giant shark.
Yep.
Sharks are friendly.
Generally,
They just boop you.
generally, there was a whole series of movies in the '90s and early aughts about dangerous sharks. People call them sharksploitation at this point because it was exploiting the fear of giant fish with big teeth.
That's part. The horror person in me is. We're not going down that road. But yes, no. The exact quote for the record, and I know. Look, this is going to be the most scatterbrained episode of this ever, and I'm okay with that, so I'm leaning into it. The exact quote from Dr. Loomis is, I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with his blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him and another 7 trying to get him locked up because I realized what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. A 6-year-old.
I believe it.
Worst psychiatrist ever.
Clearly, you've never taught first grade.
I was about to say, I'm pretty certain every first grader has pure evil behind their eyes.
No, listen.
This is another reference I don't understand.
No, that's just children are awful.
This,
Oh, okay.
that is Katie's real life experience as a first grade teacher.
Legit. Anyway.
But
Back on track.
Back on track. There's a track.
Where we're going, we don't need tracks.
I'm sorry about all the stabbing comments. I don't have a rhyme or reason behind them. I really don't want to stab people.
If you want to stab people, that's fine. There are plenty of people that need to get stabbed.
I really don't. I just spent so long not being able to defend
people.
myself.
Sorry. I'm being a bitch. I will stop.
I didn't even hear what you said.
I said I catch you. I said wanting to stab people. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I spent a long time not being able to defend myself, so forgive me for being a little overzealous when given the opportunity.
If it helps, I remember some of the knife fighting training.
You
can work on it so you feel more confident.
It's okay. I don't really want to stab people.
I mean, it's not about necessarily having to stab people.
It's about wanting. I'm sorry.
I was going with the self-defense.
I can't help it.
I was going with the
your nature. I understand.
I was going with the self-defense angle because when you learn knife fighting, you also learn how to defend from a knife.
I mean, may not be a bad idea when all is said and done. Because, I mean, he's a dragon, but he's not always going to be there.
Oh, you should 100% be able to defend yourself. Absolutely.
Like it's a
And
worthwhile skill to have.
Can I just point out that stabbing doesn't necessarily mean killing? It just can be a major inconvenience.
This is true. I got stabbed the other day. It was only a mild inconvenience.
Stop. I said I'm sorry.
You're not the one that stabbed him.
No, but I'm also the one that assigned you in the back seat when you were bleeding out.
It's fine. Frizio wasn't there anyways.
All right, so where are we going again?
We're going to.
Who knows where we're going this far off the track?
We're going to volunteer at a haunted house and gather some glamour, or just have the sheer joy of scaring people and
All right, let's
not being arrested for it.
Let's go do that then.
Well, in fairness, it's tomorrow night, but
Yes, but we can't just show up and say, "Hey, put us in the fucking."
yeah, we'll probably want to swing by and talk to Autumn Fright.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of rude, like to do to a
Trying to
man.
be proactive here.
And out of character, professional haunted houses run for more than just the night of.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think like in game, I think this story has in the game, I think this haunted house has been like one of the seasonal things. It's just a changeling benefit on Halloween.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Halloween is special night for the haunted house for changelings and everyone else.
Not to completely rain on anybody's parade here, but is there, because there's all those stories about the veil being more thin on Halloween. Do you think we run the risk of being captured again?
That's more ghosts than keepers.
Anything can happen on Halloween.
But
Sorry, it's a really bad song.
I imagine if that was a higher risk than normal, we would have been told. Like, why would they have the haunted house special for changelings if there's a higher risk of a keeper showing up to nab us again?
because I suspect, much like humans, changelings are dumb.
Yeah.
But regardless, I don't think. Is it potentially more likely? Yes. Is it ridiculously more likely? I feel like I doubt that.
Okay.
I mean, it is dramatically appropriate for something shitty to happen on Halloween. Whether that involves specifically a keeper is up to, anyone's guess.
I choose to say no. Let's go.
You choose for what?
I choose to say no.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
But that's the thing. It would be more dramatically appropriate for something shitty to happen to someone who was staying in away from everything because they were afraid of what would happen on Halloween.
Well, it's true rule.
Oh yeah, you don't split up. Every fucking horror movie tells you that.
except for the ones where the kill just jumps at a big group of people and then kills them all. I've been watching Netflix since we got back.
What's in Netflix?
It's a channel.
He doesn't know what that is either.
I know radio
That is
channels.
untrue. We have told him the basics of television.
Also, he's sort of watched a little bit of television.
Yeah.
in a couple of nights.
It's like a channel on TV.
Oh, cool.
Only instead of watching whatever's on, you have a list of things you can pick to watch whatever you want.
Yeah. It's like a choose your own programming.
Convenient.
You'd think so.
Can be, yes. Why don't we, before we
Anyway, yes, let's
go on
go.
the virtues of streaming channels, why or lack thereof, why don't we go to the haunted house to talk to Autumn Fright?
Y'all are the ones with the cars.
That's true. We are at my place, and I do have the cars. So let's go.
All right. Which car are we taking, by the way, Marlena?
I don't know. I haven't detailed all the cars yet.
You got like 10?
Brizzy is just wandering amongst the cars.
The first one. The first one when we walk into the garage that I see, whatever that may be. AKA, I'm making Shawnee decide what car we're going. We're
Fine then. You get a.
you're taking a tricycle.
That's what I'm saying. You get a
Vespa.
A
You get a-
four-wheeler.
you get a silver 2023 Malibu.
Okay, I will write that down then.
I was gonna laugh if just
What is
randomly
it?
decides on like a 2-seat car.
What the fuck?
It's fine. You can ride in the trunk.
How are you gonna get a dragon in a fucking Chevy Malibu?
I remember that I am the size of a normal person.
Yeah.
There are only 4 of us, and it is a 4-door sedan.
Oh god.
I'm not that big. I'm bigger than most, but I'm not that big.
Pitted dragon. in
Let's
the
drive.
intro.
No, I'm not. Mm-mm.
I will be asking you about that later, Joe.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will.
No, you will not.
You can't stop me.
I can stop him.
I can't make him do anything. I'm just gonna ask you some questions.
We have an hour drive, so there's plenty of time to ask questions.
Oh, good. Yeah, let's have this conversation in a
Oh
20
no, this is a later conversation.
This has to involve if this conversation is happening, which I have not decided yet. There needs to be alcohol involved.
Then we are not doing it in the fucking car.
I should hope not.
Only one person needs to not have alcohol involved. Then that's the person driving.
Then we are not doing it in my fucking car. There's no offense, Frizzy, but you aren't driving.
You're very possessive for somebody that didn't even know what the car was just a second ago.
That's not a matter of being possessive over the car. That's a matter of being possessive over my blood staying in my body.
I've driven. We were trying to drive.
You have not
vehicles.
driven modern cars, which have an entirely, I'm going to assume, I have not driven cars from that generation. I just missed out. But I am going to assume that things like brake sensitivity, speed limits, that sort of thing, you will wreck the first car you drive if everybody else in the car is drunk.
It makes me think I should learn how to actually drive modern cars sometime. Then
Yeah, how
I do.
are you gonna get a license?
we have fake papers. We already have the fake IDs and everything.
But you have to pass a real test.
Well, I have to learn.
Oh god.
And to be fair, I'm referencing military vehicles at first scenes driven, not normal vehicles.
We'll get you a Jeep. We'll get you a military Jeep.
As someone who has had the opportunity to ride in some very old vehicles, honestly, aside from learning the specifics of how their particular gears operate, the biggest thing that would trip someone up who's used to those old cars is how quickly the gas goes.
That's the thing. It's stuff like that. It's stuff on how, like, the difference between the mechanical brake and the brakes that we have now.
Yeah.
Modern cars handle much more delicately, I will say.
They react faster than a lot of other vehicles do.
Yeah.
You would 100%, if you had no time to get used to it, launch yourself into a tree.
I believe it.
There's already been.
It's a less extreme example, but sort of like when I shifted from an '85 Blazer to a 2006 Malibu. I had to be.
Hell.
Yeah, that Blazer. I had to learn not to put my foot down on the gas quite as hard because the Blazer took forever to get the gas going. The Malibu did not.
No.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, I'm distinctly reminded of a story my dad's told of drifting a deuce and a half.
I'm curious what the and a half is.
That's just what the vehicle's called, deuce and a half.
I've never heard of that.
Its full name is the M35 series 2.5 ton 6x6 cargo truck.
He drifted a cargo truck?
Supposedly.
Oh, okay. Okay, the 6x. Yeah, okay. I see what he's talking about. Okay. I see why it's a deuce and a half. Okay.
Wow.
Drifting one of those is hilarious. Okay.
Okay, so Marlena's driving.
Yes.
Kristen's riding shotgun. James and Joe in the back seat.
James is like, look, I can't really be the judge on that question. I don't have the experience to measure that one. That's entirely her.
We're not having this conversation now.
Thank you, honey. Thank you so much.
Why are we not having this? I don't even know what this conversation's about.
And you're better for it.
And we never will. Ain't gonna happen.
Girls gotta know.
No. Girl doesn't have to tell.
So we're on our way.
So you make your way out into Nashville.
I thought the haunted house was in Gatlinburg.
Or yeah, Gatlinburg rather. Yes.
Okay. That's why I was like, it's an hour drive. We're going from Knoxville to Gatlinburg.
Oh my god.
Now all I can imagine is an hour of driving, just having this argument of whether or not to have this conversation and how much alcohol needs to be involved.
I would think that Marlena would find like a see, I'm being old and saying radio station, like just turning up the music like way too fucking loud. And then when
No. The reason why is because it's funnier to just keep it's funnier to keep making Joe distressed by talking about how it's definitely going to be a conversation that we have later.
Joe's just gonna flat out ignore you. Joe is not gonna feed into it. Joe is already done with this conversation.
James, on the other hand,
it's just probably like shaking with laughter in the other seat.
Exactly. Yes.
And once the conversation dies off, Jackson will load in the car on the sound system, because I'm assuming that these have, like, you can connect to Spotify with these.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
A
Anything
playlist.
newer than
Yeah.
like 2016 has that.
Yeah, a playlist that Jackson found at some point and thought was hilarious, but just happens to fit into this, which is a playlist titled Size Queens. There's just tons of songs.
Excellent.
Probably a lot of Nicki Minaj, to be honest. So yeah,
didn't Nicki Minaj have Anaconda specifically?
Yes,
Nicki Minaj. Yep.
correct.
conversation dies down, and then just to keep bothering Joe, but
Yeah, playing a playlist.
Yep. Yeah, you drive for about an hour.
Joe
into
just
Gatlinburg.
tunes it out.
And on the main highway, there are a lot of different attractions in Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg is very much a tourist trap kind of town, where there are tons of like big things. There's a Celtic fair. There's several haunted houses. There's like a number of like adventure parks or various attractions that are like either on the highway or just off the highway.
Right.
And one of them is simply denoted as Friends of Fear, or specifically Friends of Fright. And it is the address that you were given is marked it out. And the exterior is gives off the vibe of the like sort of ancient, dilapidated, like abandoned manor house kind of thing. Very much the Haunted Mansion style of like, this place looks like it was once a very fancy building, but it's been left to rot and fall apart over, decades and decades.
Right.
Which is, as you get a closer look, both real and manufactured, because you can tell that while there are legitimately like decrepit, rotting wood boards, they are very specifically placed aesthetically over the actually well-constructed interior support system. It is very much a facade of legitimately rotting wood underneath a well-maintained structure, or on top of. Which, kudos to them, is probably not easy to keep up with. Because if every time the wood rots too badly to show what's underneath, you have to replace it with a newer but still rotting piece of wood.
About how tall is it? Like how many stories?
If you were to take a guess, you would probably say that there's only 2 floors to this building, but it is like relatively wide and deep as far as dimensions go.
Gotcha.
And as you all park in the like significant parking space that exists around this building, and get out and start to make your way towards the building, you see that already there are lines of people going into the haunted house, and you can hear the screams of people on the inside. Because you know they have mics to specifically let people hear the screams of the people inside from the exterior.
Right.
But the as you approach, like clockwork, doing the rounds, you see someone who comes out to frighten the people who are in line. There is a like very tall individual dressed in what looks like a worn down farmer's outfit, almost like the costume that they are wearing is very much designed to evoke a scarecrow that has stood up and gotten off of his post. Very much the like worn, tattered down, like farmer's like blood red shirt with holes in it, bits of straw poking out, and a bag mask over their face, walking around toting a large, revving and loud chainsaw that they just sort of swing through the air angrily to try and frighten people as they pass by, as they just sort of step out of like a side entrance to the attraction, wander around the exterior crowd, frighten them a bit, and walk back in a different entrance, as if doing a patrol.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we found 2 entrances.
There is a like those definitely appear to be like workers' entrances. There is a line like going in the main door. But as you sort of approach, getting closer to one of the side entrances, you realize that someone is sitting on the fence directly to your left, and look up and see Autumn Fright looking down at you from sitting high up on the fence. She's probably like 5 or 6 feet up, sitting between the pikes of this sort of like wrought iron fence, as she just sits on the upper railing of it and just sort of looks down, her feet kicking in that sort of faintly out of sync, not quite the normal kind of childish motion, something that makes it just a little bit off, that is just her innate way of moving. Welcome to my home. It is good to see all of you.
It's a nice place.
Got it.
I take it you're all here to enjoy the festivities.
Well, we wanted to actually talk to you about tomorrow night.
Were some of you looking to participate as volunteers in our haunted house?
Point a manicured finger towards Frisian.
I mean, I'd give it a go.
She sort of looks down at the two of you. I think you two would be excellent members of our entourage. Is there anything in particular that you have a fondness for? Any old horror stories that grab your imagination?
You know, I've always been partial to the legend of Sleepy Hollow.
A headless horseman to wander the halls would be an excellent addition for tomorrow night. I think we can have our costumers put something together for you. She smiles in the kind of smile that tells you that maybe the people that are there are not the only ones who are going to be frightened by your costume.
Why not?
And what about you, old soldier?
I don't really remember many stories, but I know I prefer to be more active and moving.
I think we can make you a walking nightmare. Let's see what we can do. Maybe accentuate some of those already potential talents you already have. Yes, we can work with this. Come by tomorrow evening before the sun goes down, and we'll get you dressed and ready to go.
Much appreciated.
She sort of looks across the three of you, and her eyes sort of linger on Marlena. And you? Would you like to join us tomorrow evening?
Oh no, I am gonna be. I have every intention of screaming bloody murder in many other ways. So no, thank you.
Well, do be sure to enjoy yourself. I'm sure there will be many who would seek your company, especially after leaving our establishment.
Fair enough.
But I must be back to business. Always more people to scare. And she sort of stands up, and again, with that same effect that you've seen before, the wind seems to carry her away as she sort of disperses in front of your eyes.
I mean, you gotta hand it to her. She's really very committed.
I kind of wonder what that ends up looking like without them, like with the mask.
I mean, with the mask, like, people still see her disperse, but they just assume it's a special effect. Like she was just a hologram projection or something.
Okay. All I can imagine is we look a little bit crazy trying to talk to a hologram.
I mean,
If
people talk to holograms all the time, especially around Halloween.
you're and plus, given the level of probable inebriation of most, if not all, of these patrons, they'd probably not even notice and or care.
Oh, she is right across from a distillery. Like her haunted house is literally across the street from a distillery.
Spirits and spirits.
Yep.
Joe is going to look over at James like, you don't want to participate?
Oh, I think I might. I might, but I think I might wander around and get a feel for what's going on around here. I only occasionally actually stepped out into the real during a lot of my away time. I spent a lot of time wandering around the hedge instead, so I think I might get my bearings back a bit.
Okay.
If I'm gonna scare people, I might do it on the streets rather than inside a haunted house.
That's also very fair. I mean, we're near a bar. Like, I don't think it'd be that hard.
No, not at all.
I'm sorry, not bar, distillery.
I mean, the only real difference is they make their own beer.
That'd be a brewery.
All right. Well, I mean, do y'all want to take a walk through the haunted house and see what it's like on the way out?
I suppose.
I
Sounds
mean,
like
it's up to
fun.
y'all.
Do we have to pay for it?
I have a
Oh,
feeling that's not going to
no.
be a problem.
Oh no! Oh, we're gonna have go.
It's a legitimate question.
Oh yeah, that's right. It probably is for pay.
Like, I know y'all got
just gonna
money,
get in.
okay? It's a
Uh-huh.
legitimate question.
I don't have money.
It's fun.
Frizzing realizes he was just gonna walk through without paying anyways.
Let's find out, and if we have to pay, oh no, we have to pay.
If you go through the line, yeah, it is. It is a paid haunted house. It's a $15 ticket, which is about movie ticket prices, but that's also they paid their actors and their performers.
Right.
So
That's a cheap haunted house.
they get a high volume. This is probably the most popular haunted house in Gatlinburg.
I feel out of place because the only haunted houses I've ever seen are volunteer, like not paid for haunted houses.
Oh no, I've never paid for one. I just know that they could get quite expensive. I know several people who have worked in one.
Yeah. It's about half the price of something that you'd see on like a commercial haunted house like Netherworld.
Yeah.
But for being a local haunted house and also being well run, they're making very good profit and paying their employees well.
Which is important.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you all take a ride through, and as you enter the haunted house, you realize that this place is uh, a lot of haunted houses are like directed, where you have a specific walking path to go through, where you're supposed to like walk in sequence across like up and through the place.
Mm-hmm.
This is more like a walking tour, in that you once you enter, you have free reign to walk through all of the rooms, that as if this was just a haunted house that you were exploring.
Right.
Okay.
But in every room and moving between the rooms are a variety of different actors who are there to provide you with that thrill of a haunted house. I would like all of you to roll me wits, composure, and weird.
Let's get the character sheet.
Give me just a second. And
Oh, I just need to change what's what was the second one?
Wits, composure, and weird.
Composure. Okay. Huh?
Nice. Jeez.
Have a
The
lot of
number of
composure.
pens in that roll. You're on a chance die. Marlene.
Thank you.
Here's one.
Not much better.
I mean, but there was a success in there. So, Marlena, you pick up that this is more than a standard haunted house. You pick up, I mean, obviously it's run by Autumn Fright, but you pick up that there is active changeling magic going on in here, although you're not quite able to piece together where and how. Frisian, you notice that some of the actors that move around do so impossibly. Like the places where they disappear and the places where they reappear, there is no physical way they could have moved fast enough to have actually changed positions like that. Joe, with 7 successes and an exceptional success, like not only an exceptional success, but with 7 total. Not only do you notice that Autumn seems to have set up something with the employee tunnels that are used to get around the house that allows them to travel preternaturally quickly.
Mhm.
Most of the staff are changelings, of a variety of types. The other thing that you notice, and you pay for this awareness with potentially some of your sanity for the night, as you start to realize that the building itself is adjusting to the people inside as the rooms change ever so slightly, and the environment adjusts itself to improve the atmosphere, to adjust for making you just that slightest bit more uncomfortable. And you especially develop the constant sensation of being watched, not by the actors, but by the building, as it seems to be alive in some respect, as it feels like it is keeping a constant vigilant watch on you and everyone else walking through and taking this tour. As one in particular, and one of the actors' attire seems to change for a minute, as what was once meant to be like the image of like the ghost of like an old belle, like, you know, the white flowing dress just covered in blood stains with a knife in her hand and like a slashed throat and like the pale face and limp hair, recontextualizes it for a second as you look in this moment as this knife wielding ghost woman seems to be coming forward as if to scare you. Her face seems to change and present that of James's mother for a second, as it almost looks like she is coming at you with a knife. And I need you to make me a roll me a number of dice equal to your clarity.
My clarity is 5.
Yes.
How do I just roll 5 dice?
Hit simple roll, and it will ask
that's
you
right.
how many dice you want.
Did not asking me.
If you hit simple roll and then click on the roller.
Oh, hi. How many? So 5.
Okay. So that's a successful attack on your clarity. Would you like to make that an exceptional success in exchange for a beat?
Yes.
All right. So this might deal severe clarity damage. I would like you to roll me your weird.
Okay. Uh-oh. That is not as high.
Plus, because of the situation. Sorry, you're gonna have to roll that again. +2 because of the situation.
So add two.
Add a 2 die modifier to that.
So it's not a simple. Oh wait, hold up.
Make it a sheet roll. Yeah, make it back to a sheet roll and just select your weird, and
Gotcha.
then add 2.
Okay. 2 cancel.
Just click on your wits and composure to cancel them out, and then
Yeah.
back to weird.
Figured that. Weird
+2.
+2.
All right. So you take the first clarity damage of this entire game, as you take 1 point of severe clarity damage that I've marked off for you.
Oh,
As this moment of this house arranging this fright very specifically catering to you makes you step back in a very real reaction, even more than perhaps most would expect of a haunted house. And then the moment passes, and it's just the actress who is playing this particular ghost woman. But it leaves you just a little bit shaken.
hmm.
You all right?
Yeah. I'm a little discombobulated.
Need to get out?
No, I mean, I just feel like the house is watching me, and the actress over there suddenly took the face of my mother-in-law coming at me with a knife. So I mean, but other than that, I'm perfectly fine.
Right.
You
A
do
good
get
job
another
on
beat
not
for taking that.
instinctually murdering someone.
Excuse me?
That's a good job on not instinctually murdering anyone.
I told you I didn't want to murder anybody. I was the one being threatened with a knife.
I understand that.
You do get another beat for taking damage to your clarity.
You learn to take a compliment. I'm saying if I had been in that situation and I had seen my fetch coming at me, I would have started stabbing and not stopped until somebody said, "What are you doing? That's a person."
Mm. Just a
So
little, yeah, just a little shaken up, but not. I'm okay.
fair enough.
Totally okay.
And for the rest of you, the haunted house is effective, but perhaps not that effective.
Yeah.
But you all have an enjoyable time. For those of you that enjoy haunted houses, some of you might not enjoy haunted houses. But you make your way through and emerge out the other side. And make your way back out, and are as you make your way out and you sort of walk out the back around the fence on the outside, you spot sort of out of the corner of your eye Autumn sitting on like one of the high pointed bits of the roof, just standing there as if just looming out just barely in people's periphery.
Nice.
And as you spot her, she just very quietly just waves at you, just slowly and out of sync.
There are other people in here, right?
Yes.
Because normal people walking through.
There are mundanes.
100% pulling for glamour.
All right. If you're trying to harvest ambient fear, and rather than trying to scare people directly, just roll me wits and weird.
Wits and weird?
Yeah.
All right.
If you're trying to sense ambient glamour that you can just sort of glom on rather than trying to harvest.
I will willpower this.
Frisian.
And get 3.
Yep, you managed to harvest 3 glamour out of the environment.
Good.
Frisian is going to try to mimic the wave back.
You are already used to being a statue, so it's not hard to like have this weird asymmetric wave that doesn't quite make your hand move the way that a normal person should.
Like Frisian's been watching like how the actors in that move, just like it's like, wait, this is just weirdly jilted, and I do this anyways.
Yeah, and you do get the sense that like a lot of the motion that comes out of a lot of the subtler horror that a lot of these actors are trained for is just learning how to move in a way that is unnatural to most people, which for you is just how you move.
So you think you may have found your calling, Frisian?
Haunted House was a lot of fun, and like I already move like they do, so that's not a whole lot more. And I'm sure Autumn Fright's people have a really great costume from what the people inside look like.
Yeah, they're very, very good costumes. Yeah.
I am insight checking or empathy checking.
Roll wits and empathy. Katie, I would
Yes.
like you to make a simple roll so that we can't tell what the pool is, but make the pool either manipulation and subterfuge or presence and expression. Pick one of those 2 pools, but just make it a
Roll
simple
that many
with how
dice.
Yeah.
Roll that many dice. So what?
Yeah.
So what? My 2 choices were what?
Manipulation and subterfuge or
Okay.
presence and expression.
Okay.
Just pick one of those dice pools and make it a simple roll with that many dice, so that we can't tell what pool you're rolling.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So there's a little bit of a read in there. What do you think that Marlena gets with just like maybe not all of what you're feeling, but they're definitely at least getting the general idea.
Joe is very nervous. In thinking back to a conversation that happened earlier in the evening about the veil being thinner.
Okay. Marlena doesn't directly He is just not going to directly address it because that way lies walls of defensiveness, as we have learned. So Marlena is just going to stick close to Joe and be a little less reedy than usual. Just a presence there.
Joe is
Well-
just. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's just James just. Well, that was fun. So where are we headed next?
Perhaps. Sorry, you were about to say it.
No, I I don't know if we want to split up for the night and y'all we go to our place and y'all go to the mansion, or if we need to sit down, if we need to eat food. I don't know. I I I I I don't know. Y'all decide.
I believe drinks were a requirement.
We can get drinks back at
Well,
my home.
not having that conversation.
Everybody in.
So where are you headed?
Back to the house.
Back to the mansion? All right.
Yep.
So you all head back. It's another hour drive. So by the time you're back, the sun is going down and it's getting a little late in the evening.
Legit.
You arrive back and have the run of the place. Did you fire the entirety of that security company, or did you keep
100%.
Okay.
We do not have a security team currently because I
Fair
have not
enough.
had a chance to hire one. But no, shockingly, I'm not going to stick with a security team that was working for a bigot.
Not even that one guy who was just like
No, I'm sorry. Nope. Like that dude was not necessarily on my shit list, but he was also not on my hiring list.
fair enough.
Is that you go away and never come back list?
Go live your life. Just live it over there.
Don't show your face around here no more.
Yep.
Notably, the manor does not currently have much in the way of staff.
That's fine.
Joe is going to go to the sitting room and light a fire and just pace, basically, as she appears deep in thought.
I bring over a drink and just put it in your hand.
I don't think
Drink it.
I'm not in a good in a good place for drinking right now.
It is not going to get you. It is not going to get you placid. It is just going to ease your nerves a little bit. I did not make it strong.
That answers my question. I was about to ask glass or bottle.
No, just a glass. You need a little take the edge off, and then you need to stop there.
Joe just nods and takes it and keeps pacing and drinking.
All right. Mm. So it's the day before it's the night before Halloween, and we are in an abandoned. We are in a largely empty mansion whose owner was a non-person who just got brutally slaughtered not too long ago. Certainly, this can only end well.
Oh, thank you. I hadn't thought about that part. I appreciate that.
You'll be fine.
President's just walking around the manor, trying to mimic the scare actors.
And we have someone running around trying to scare people. Joe, do me a favor, stay in here.
Not going anywhere.
I don't need Frizzy to jump out from behind a corner and then get choked to death because you don't always stab people.
I would be no good at defending myself right now. My hands are shaking.
Adrenaline's a powerful tool. But yes, I get the point. You want to talk about it?
It's gonna sound stupid.
You know what sounds stupid? Not talking about it because you think you might sound stupid.
I was the one that said go to the haunted house. I was the one that said, okay, let's volunteer for the haunted house. And then I end up being the one that's most visibly shaken by said haunted house. And I just feel like I'm being picked on from otherworldly sources.
I mean, you're not paranoid for thinking so. Because we were literally picked on by otherworldly sources for a long, long time.
Okay, you're not wrong, but okay, there's that whole conversation we had about, how we said it pertained to ghosts, but how the veil is thinner on, or said to be thinner on Halloween, and I don't trust any of the keepers enough to not to pull shit on Halloween. And there was a feeling, and again, this is going to sound crazy, but you already said to stop thinking that's going to sound crazy or stupid, so I'm just going to say it. It felt like the house had eyes. It felt like the house itself was its own presence.
It's not outside the realm of possibility.
I also, one of the actors, for just the briefest of seconds, looked like my mother-in-law with a knife in her hand.
Right.
And so my mind goes to, well, is this house reading my fears, or is my mother-in-law back from the hedge and she happens to be in the haunted house? Is there some crossover happening here I should be concerned about? Should I be watching my back in more ways than one?
Or, and I am not discounting any of your concerns. Your feelings are valid. So do not take what I am saying as a form of doubting your the validity of your emotional state, or what your eyes have seen. Or you have had your in-laws on your mind and something about the night, or perhaps something about the general nature of a haunted house being run by our kind, led you to see something that was on your mind that you were worried about. If you want, you make a call, see if there's anything like that that's supposed to be that might be the case. I suspect that the house is built in such a, or the effects are built in such a way as to bring out your personal fears. And make them seem very real. I don't know that for certain, but that would be my suspicion.
See, that's the thing, though. That's what puzzles me. If it's going after Fright,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not scared of my mother-in-law.
Aren't you?
No.
You're not scared of what
But I,
she or her.
what I would have, would fucking words. Would I have eloped with her son if I was afraid of retaliation?
I'm not saying that you were afraid of her then. But are you saying, and if this is the case, I will take you at your word. But are you saying that you're not afraid in any way, shape, or form of either her fetch or her now as a captured individual and potential servant of your keeper? You're not afraid of her coming out to grab you and drag you back to them?
Her in particular, no, but going back to the hedge, yes.
She represents, whether consciously or not, I think, she represents that place in an easy way. And I would venture to say that the way it is fucking with your head right now, it might bother you a little bit more than you think. Or at least it is taken hold in a subconscious way as a metaphorical representation of so on and so forth, and nightmares and symbolism and blah 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 blah, a bunch of things that I do not know in any real way because I did not go to college. And certainly not for college of bullshit. It's all right to be thrown off. This is I would say it is probably normal to have been thrown off by this experience. I would just say maybe examine why it threw you off. Not because I necessarily think that it is the reasons that I say, although I do think it is those reasons. Examine why so you can understand yourself and what it might mean.
So examine myself and find a coward.
That is not even remotely the words that came out of my mouth, nor is it the meaning of those words. Cowards are not people that get scared. Everybody gets scared. Cowards and non-cowards alike. Cowardice is how you act in response to that fear.
I just don't understand why it hit me harder than anybody else. It doesn't make any sense.
If I had to guess, I would say that I have killed my particular demon in this. Right now, there are plenty more to go, but I have killed one of mine very recently. Frisian, listen, I love that boy, but Frisian has buried anything approaching emotion so far deep inside that it is going to take about seven psychic blasting camps to get anywhere near scratching the surface.
I love the phrase "psychic blasting cap."
That's fantastic description.
You are very in touch with your emotions. I am saying that in a positive way, as much as I also like to use it to dig at you.
Wouldn't be for me.
And exactly. I only do it because I can.
Mm-hmm.
But you are very in touch with your emotions and dealing with your latest, current demons is coming up soon, so it's on your mind. I think it's just as simple as that. It could have been, if we had done this a week ago, it could have been me.
You're not wrong.
So you're about to say, but.
No,
Okay.
saying I'm not going to call you right. I'm just going to say you're not wrong.
I understand. Pride is a powerful thing.
You know, coming from you.
Oh, that's what you forgot at the beginning, Shawnee. That it's Lust Month.
Right.
That's
yes.
true.
I forgot to mention it being lust.
How
month.
could we?
I knew I was forgetting something.
I love that realization happens now.
There's only
Jeremy said pride.
One more day in lust month.
Jeremy said pride, and my
Yeah, that's
immediate
what
thought
triggered
is
it,
this is turning into wrath now. And it's like, wait a minute.
Oh, don't try and flip this around me on me and try to say something about my pride, because I understand that individual, that particular monkey on my back is King Kong. But what about it doesn't mean that the problem isn't there too.
Oh, I never said it wasn't there. I'm just saying it's funny to hear you say it.
I am fully aware of I was going to say most of my flaws, but no, I am fully aware of all of my flaws, all two of them, and
the humblest of brags, James says.
Hush up, we haven't even gotten to you yet. I'm
really
simply saying It is okay to be fucked up by what you saw. And it is okay to acknowledge that. It is not weakness. It is not cowardice. It is arguably more cowardly to pretend that it is not.
Well, I have way too many anxiety tells for it to ever go unsaid. I mean, look at me, listen to me. You're hearing this, you're seeing this, right?
Yes, I am. I'm just. You are fine. When I say you are fine, what I mean is you are okay, you are in a safe space, and it is okay to not be okay. Because none of us are okay. That includes you, me, James, Frisian, Cassandra,
Frank and Lisa.
Special. I'm just going to leave that for now because I don't want to get into a rant. But that includes all the changelings that we have seen at the Commons. That includes all of us because we are all broken, traumatized fucking people, and maybe some of them have gotten through some of their shit. But I promise you, none of us have. And even the ones that have, they're just scratching at the surface. So yes, don't worry. At the very least, I'm just as fucked up as you are. You watch the next words coming out of your mouth.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
There you go. Good answer.
At this point, Joe finishes her drink and turns and looks at James like, do you have anything to say?
James is just trying not to laugh. Oh man.
I'm glad the haunting image of your mother with a knife coming at your wife is such an amusing story.
And this is the point where I take my drink and I go and try and find Frisian before he finds like the gun room or whatever other fucked up room that we've got in this place.
Wait, do you have a security system? Because he might set something off.
Yes, I have a security. You guys saw the security system.
I mean, part of the security system got fired.
That's true, but there is still a security system.
I bet he's found a secret room by now.
Very possible. I might just go and find a room to lock myself into and get drunk. I don't know, but I am leaving this room because now y'all got to talk, and I don't want to be here for that because I have been on both sides of the catching strays in this particular in conversations with you. So,
you saying you got your own problems to deal with?
I'm an exit. No. I'm saying I don't want to be the innocent bystander getting shot because one of you said something to the other. So I am exiting stage right as I walk sideways out the door and shut it.
I don't think either of us were. I don't think you were ever catching strays. I think both of us were just shooting for you.
You're a muffled.
In the meantime, the funny thought of frizzing in the attic with a Ouija board comes to mind.
We just start hearing like random footsteps. It's like.
But is it an AI powered Ouija board?
Is it a what?
An AI powered Ouija board.
Frisian has an iPad.
aka literally the dumbest of all possible ideas.
I know, right?
Yeah. For the audience, Hasbro came out with an AI-powered online Ouija board for some reason.
This is literally the plot of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode,
This
basically.
is like you're asking for shit to happen now, okay?
You're asking for the demon to get merged with the AI.
Exactly. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I understood that reference. Jurassic Park.
Yep.
It's also what I say a lot in my classroom. It's like, yeah, okay, you can do that. That doesn't mean you should do that. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But
If you see somebody operating an AI power Ouija board, please stop them.
break the iPad, break the device, save yourself,
Kill the internet. I don't care.
stab the internet.
But before you break it, make sure you say goodbye.
Hashtag stab the internet. No, I don't think that should trend.
Probably not. I could probably get fired.
That's where we're going to take our break. So
Good
when we take
break,
our break,
guys.
you take your break. So sit up, stretch your legs, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
We're back.
Welcome back.
Hi.
So, you all presumably get a night's rest. I don't know how restful some of you might find your evening. But in the morning, you have the rest of the day to go out and enjoy whatever Halloween festivities you want to. And then in the evening, there's a haunted house with at least 2 of your names on it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you all up to for the day?
Attic.
Did you say attic?
Yeah.
How like how in Marlena's neighborhood, how close apart are the close apart? How close together are the houses? Is there like room to like walk through the woods or stuff like that, or they're all like pretty close together?
Sorry, in Marlena's house?
Yeah, like is it like one of the mansions like with a lot of area around it, or is it like
Oh yeah, the mansion has a whole lot of like there's a big fence. There's probably at least like 80 to 100 feet of just lawn on all sides of the house before you get to the fence.
mm-hmm. What's the weather like?
On the morning of Halloween, it is overcast but not raining.
Izzy goes for a run.
Anywhere in particular?
Not really. He's just
like in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Joe is going to make a very big mug of hot apple cider and go find somewhere to sit outside and just try to relax.
There. I am sorry, go ahead.
Has it maybe taken like a Agatha Christie or Edgar Allan Poe, something to read?
Nice. I am getting on the phone and getting some business taken care of. First things first, I am calling a moving company to get all of my stuff from my other place moved here. Get that all arranged to get it here as soon as possible, because that place is now claimed by someone else. And I am going to start going through all of the information that Fake Me had on all of the people that I was backing financially, all of the horrible, horrible people, to see what I can do to start blackmailing them and forcing them to turn their shit around. Today's a blackmail day.
That seems appropriate.
And I'm going through the finances to make sure any currently outgoing money that's going to bad causes is, probably spending a lot of time on the phone with probably my very confused lawyer.
All right. For the social side of this, roll me manipulation and intimidation because you're
Okay.
not being particularly subtle about this.
Oh, not even a little bit. Well, I want to see. Let's see. Yeah, that's not gonna help me. That's not gonna help me because I'm on the phone. No, no, no.
I believe you're a Ferrist, aren't you?
Correct.
Your Kith blessing might be of benefit to you.
Yes.
I don't recall.
And activate a scene. No, not my Kith ability. And willpower on another person's behalf. For purposes of the usual 3 dying. Oh, huh.
If you're just not realizing
That would have been
for other
nice.
people.
I can spend willpower for other people. I forgot about that. No, not for not for yeah. It's a little bit of the first edition one gives you a lot of social benefits.
That's right. Yeah.
This one gives me a lot of reading people benefits. 3 successes and exceptional success when I empathy someone, and that sort of thing. That said, and yeah, all of the rest of my stuff I think requires me to be.
Oh, did you get the additional 1 dot of any 1 power attribute from your character creation? Because I just read that on the Ferrist.
Huh?
There's the blessing of the Ferrist. Gain an additional dot of 1 power attribute at character creation.
Power attribute.
Which would be intelligence, strength, or presence.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. It's 6, 4, 3, right?
Character creation is attributes is go. It is 5, 4, 3.
5, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Because I put it in. I'm assuming I put it in presence because I have a presence of 4. But yeah, no, I have an extra adopter. So, okay, so it is. What did you say? Presence intimidation.
Presence intimidation.
Specialty for reading.
You know what? I will say yes in this particular case because you're specifically doing it in a queer positive manner.
Yep. I mean, it's regardless. It would be you picking up on shit. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and spend a willpower, even though this is probably my best. Well, one of my best rolls. So that'll actually give me +4. Glad I fucking spent willpower. Jesus. So that's 3 successes.
Very nice. And then for the financial side, roll me intelligence and academics.
All right. Well, we'll see how this goes. I do have academics. And I don't need willpower. Who needs willpower?
Also, remember, everyone get a willpower back from having a night's rest.
That is true. 4 successes for that.
All right, so very efficiently, you pause and halt any and all financial transactions that are going towards any bigoted, queerphobic, any kind of cause that you deem as not for you and things that you wish to represent.
Absolutely.
Your lawyer is very confused, but is
how much do you lack money?
Yeah, it's like you pay me, so whatever you want to do, I will make it happen.
Wonderful.
And he gets the paperwork rolling as quickly as he can. That for the social side, You begin laying the groundwork. There are probably some very aggressive phone calls that happen over the course of the morning.
Mhm.
And you know that there are a number of people who are now considering your blackmail
Perfect.
and the information that you hold over them.
Sounds wonderful.
Next time, Jackson goes to jail for blackmail.
No, because that's the joy of blackmail. These people can't afford that. Because then what they're saying, their secrets and information by necessity have to come out. Also, it's not blackmail so much as
Coercion.
yes. Coercion is legal. Blackmail is not.
Thus your lawyer will argue in court if it comes to it.
That's why he gets the big bucks.
Cool. So yeah, I spend probably most of the morning and afternoon doing that, I assume.
Oh yeah. There's still more work to do, particularly on the social side, but you have gotten the ball rolling at the very least.
Cool. Most of the money that is being diverted away from those causes will either be going towards pro-queer legal funds or going towards my daughter's location to get that place opened up post haste.
Oh God, what's the name of that place?
I
gave it a name and I've forgotten what it was.
You did. So did I.
What the hell?
It's not in the party notes document.
Nope.
Oh, yay. Somebody go and watch that episode, listen to that episode and figure it out.
Yeah. But I know the place you're talking about. Yes. Your drag daughter's bar.
Drag
bar. And your daughter is very happy to hear that you are sending a bunch of money her way to get the business back open.
Yep.
And she'll start hiring staff and start getting the place renovated so that
perfect.
She can start running it properly.
Cool. So yeah, that's my early to midday.
Frisian, your jog is relatively uneventful. You are going through high-class area where people want to generally be left alone most of the time, so you hardly have anything to worry about aside from a few cars to get out of the way of. Joe, it is very easy to set up a peaceful place to sit outside and enjoy the overcast sky.
Trying to take my mind off things.
How successful that is up to you.
I'm going to allow it to be successful.
I will allow myself to be distracted.
Yes.
But the rest of you, well, all of you, as evening falls, it's getting closer to time for all of you to head into town for your fun. I know two of you have a costume waiting for you, but Marlena, are you getting dressed up for the evening?
Yes.
So what's the outfit look like?
I'm thinking. You gotta give me more. Should I have thought of this beforehand? Yes. Did I?
No.
Um.
Please let it involve feathers of some kind.
I would be shocked if it didn't.
I mean,
No, I can imagine Marlena looking like a peacock.
I think. Let me see. Go on. I'm thinking. I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna need at least a minute.
So, are the other two of you doing anything special before you head into town?
Asking James, you planning on dressing up, or are you just gonna go as is, or?
I think I might be able to throw something together. Might be able to do something a little like Old West kind of thing, considering I have a decent supply of dusters as it stands.
Since you have a what? I'm sorry.
Since I have a decent supply of dusters as it stands.
Eh. I can dig it. You know you're gonna get a lot of cowboy jokes from Marlena, right?
Look, I don't know if the two of you ever had that conversation or not, so
No, we did not. I told you it ain't gonna happen.
I'm sure she will follow up on it whenever she wants.
I don't. She can follow up whatever she wants to. I don't have to say nothing.
Marlena specifically plays Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy on the way to Gatlinburg.
Can probably get some like undead cowboy makeup going on. Yeah, he's gonna go get ready.
You any good at makeup?
I can do a little bit.
All right. See what you got.
I gotta make a crafts roll for James. He has crafts.
Nah, 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 nah. Too tall.
Since Joe already has a costume waiting at the haunted house, she is just going to be in jeans and tennis shoes and a hoodie. Just like a regular person.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. By the time you guys are ready to leave and James has finished like getting makeup done, he has effectively made himself look, at least from the face and neck and around the hands, which is most of what's visible, undead. He has paled himself up. He's given himself like a little bit of like darkening around the eyes. He's like added a little bit of fake skin to like create like bullet holes in the side of his face. It's all in all, it is upon close inspection obviously fake, but definitely gets the effect across.
See, it just looks like you after a rough night. I'm fairly certain there are college pictures of you that look like that.
If I came out of any kind of college scrap with a bullet hole and I was still handsome enough for you to marry me, I will take that as a compliment.
I think, yeah, no, you have to go there.
Not wait for this.
Baby Jane Hudson, for sure.
Oh my god.
For fucking sure. For reference, Betty Davis's character in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It is the right level of deranged. It is an iconic character, queer icon. It's just camp value 100%. It's perfect. By the way, excuse me as I go off on a very small rant here.
Oh, Jesus. That's exactly what I thought.
So I just because I legitimately I had not thought of this because I didn't. My brain did not remember that this was going to be the Halloween episode before we started the session. So I just did a search of horror villainesses, and I came upon a list that includes Cassie Thomas from Promising Young Woman. I don't know if any of you've seen Promising Young Woman. You absolutely should. It is an amazing movie.
But I'm assuming very much not a horror movie.
That's not the concern. It's not really horror. It's more of a thriller with a weird comedic aspect of it that really works. So it came out a couple years ago. Carey Mulligan stars in it as Cassie, and she was not. It got nominated for a bunch of Oscars because it's that good.
Yeah,
she is a character who years ago, or actually just recently, one of her friends committed suicide because of a sexual assault that happened in college, and she goes on a revenge kick. She is not the villain of this story.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form. Not unless you consider those people to be the heroes of this story. She's not even really an anti-hero because I don't believe that she kills anyone.
Yeah.
She brings legal consequences to all of them.
Yeah, I don't think you can call that even anti-hero. She doesn't at least violate one of them.
I don't think comeuppance in what
she's not at all. And the fact that she is on this list is driving me into fits of rage.
Do they try and justify their choice at all?
Or is it just like that's it?
Not really.
No, they just put her there.
They just kind of describe what happened in the movie. None of which is remotely like
not
the rage right now.
Yeah.
That feels like it says a lot about the person who made the list.
The word villain gets like tossed around way too much.
Is she technically an antagonist?
No, she is the protagonist of the story.
She's the main character.
The main character of the story.
Cool. Yeah, definitely not then.
That's bizarre.
It's the weirdest selection I've ever seen in a list of quote unquote this is the URL iconic female horror villains.
What?
Not a horror movie.
Not a villain.
Not a villain. I'll give them the other two. Sorry. That's my rant. I'm done.
Back to
Baby Jane Hudson. Yes.
Excellent.
You look
Arranged?
If that's what you're going for, then yes.
This is exactly what I'm going for.
Then you did it perfectly.
Thank you.
So shall we?
Yes, let's go.
All right, let's get on our way then.
Back to the Malibu.
Pile in. Make your way out.
Are we back in the Malibu, or does Jackson choose a different vehicle this time, just to be extra?
No, let's stay with the one for now. I will come up with a list of cars later.
I just think it's funny to see baby Jane Austen
Right.
driving a Chevy Malibu. Silver Chevy Malibu. Like, who would suspect?
Hudson, just so we don't get
Hudson.
Jane Austen and Jane Hudson confused.
You know what? I know the difference. I just said the wrong name.
Yeah, understandable.
Fun story. I finally saw that movie for the first time this month.
What movie?
Whatever happened to
Jane
Jane
Austen?
Whatever
Or Jane,
happened to Baby
fuck, there you got me doing.
Whatever happened to Baby
Hudson?
Jane? Highly recommended.
It doesn't help that Jane
That is
Austen
not
is like a famous enough author that you start saying Jane and want to autocomplete Austen.
Austen.
Yep.
Listen, I stopped trying to explain my brain a long time ago.
Fair.
I absolutely get it because, like I said, my brain also wants to do that autocomplete.
Oh, that's worse. I actually just looked at the actual headline of the article because I just saw iconic horror. It doesn't even put iconic in. It explicitly says 54 horror movies where the villain is a woman.
What?
We're driving. We're driving. We're driving.
Away from that.
We're driving. Jeremy wishes he was over the author of that article.
Oh, I'm just gonna hope that was an AI written article because
legitimately could have been.
Well, at least now I know Marlene has got something else on her mind for the hour drive that it takes to get to the hotel.
I can have many things on my mind at once. I am a multitude.
Not I contain multitudes. I am a multitude.
I am a multitude.
You surely are.
All right.
But yes,
so you take the drive. You take the hour drive over. The group of you arrive at the haunted house, find your parking spot, and as the group of you get out and make your way towards the side, one of the side entrances for the employees opens up, and you see just sort of like leaning out of the door in that like sort of awkward, like has been watching you the whole time manner is, as you might suspect at this point, Autumn Fright. As she opens the door and you sort of see the side half of her face. And she says, "Welcome to the show. If the two of you would like to join me, we'll get you outfitted for your roles." So she sort of extends a bony hand and just sort of like gestures the two of you with the sort of like the horror beckoning gesture.
You know what?
I'll have fun.
Mama didn't raise a coward. Here I go.
All right. The pair of you join her, and she leads you inside, and a couple of other individuals come up with costume bits and pieces to help you try on. First up, the Frisian. The animal parts of your mien are wolf based, right?
They're nondescript.
Nondescript furred predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. They start to amp up a little bit of that and sort of start to build a costume that plays on your mien. And there's a lot of like prosthetic added to sort of like elongate your face and make it look like halfway between transformation between man and wolf sort of thing. And on top of all of this additional modification done to your outfit and your physique and the makeup designed to make you look like a wolf man halfway into a transformation, you are given a pair of gloves that augment the natural claws that you can have with like gloves that have like metallic claws on them made of flint, like just like rough iron, like rough like pitted metal. It's not quite actually flint stone, but it is like basically the equivalent of, it's like a very like rough like scored metal on the claws. And the costumer working with you just says, "Hey, run that along this metal pipe here real quick."
And he does so, just
And
swipes along the
you
pipe.
scrape it across, and it shoots sparks. Just sparks fly as you run it across. That
That's cool.
That'll get a real scare out of people, especially if you do it at high speed.
At high speed, like just doing my clock quickly, or like running past people? And
yeah, if you just sprint past someone, like there are metal pipes like all along the walls.
Okay.
If you just run past someone scraping the claws along those pipes, you'll get a real fright out of them. So it works better if you're screaming too. But it's all up to you. You've got the run of the place to find people to scare.
All right.
And then Joe, you are being dressed up in a like elegant sort of Hessian soldier's outfit. Sort of like the high collar and the doublet and like the puffed like fluffy bit in there. Given like a long coat and a fake sword to hold and wave around. And as you are being finished dressed up, you notice that the collar ends at your neckline, like it would as if you were just wearing this outfit. And then Autumn Fright walks up and says, "Now for the part that really sells the outfit," she says, as she like runs a hand over you, and you just sort of feel this sense of the weird, this sense of hedge magic being applied to you. And she just gives your head a tap, and you feel your perspective shift as your head detaches from your body. You don't die. You are suddenly holding your own head in your hands.
I feel like that's something you should warn somebody of. You should warn somebody before you take their head off.
Autumn Fright, no. Well, that's very method of you.
And for all intents and purposes, you are now a headless horseman.
Tell me, if you don't mind, how to reverse this?
Oh, you just need to put your head back on. It's fine. You'll be able to take it on and off for the duration of the evening, and it'll go back on at the end once it wears off. If you aren't already wearing it.
Right. Of course. I'm totally fine. Yeah. This is great.
And as the pair of you make your way into the haunted house, ready to enjoy your night of fright, uh, both of you notice there's an energy about this place that differs from when you walked through as customers. Very similar to how you had noticed Joe that the house was watching you. Instead of watching you, you feel like you are now part of the ones doing the watching. It is almost empowering, this sense of being on the other side of the curtain. More than just being an actor, it feels like you are now the one in power. You are now the one that has the controls. And it is this not quite mob mentality, but this sort of sense of communal empowerment that belongs with. There's a sense of strength that comes with being the horror monster rather than being the victim. It's a little giddy at times and kind of a rush, but you get the sort of the opposite sensation that you had when you were here last. And you have for mechanical reference, your manipulation and intimidation, or presence and intimidation, because what it will be, your presence and intimidation rolls will receive a 3-die bonus for the night, as you are being empowered by the haunted house. But before we close for the evening, I would like the both of you to give me a presence and intimidation roll with that modifier added.
Okay. Presence and
If you have any talents or specialties or willpower you would like to add to this, feel free.
presence intimidation. I mean, I have a specialization in drama.
Absolutely apply that.
How do I apply that?
Just add an extra die bonus. Just it adds one more die to your pool.
Okay. So that'd be 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like a terrible idea. I do have the overpowering dread contract. Just use that on people. +3. I will use a willpower. So +6. Also, the entire time getting ready, Frizzing is just giddy. Full of glee.
Joa has mostly gotten over the headless feeling and now is trying to think of all the clever wordplay she can use, making jokes. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I mean, so here's the thing, Frisian. You can fit the loophole for overpowering dread. That is kind of the purpose of this building.
Do I want... The question is, do I use overpowering dread on mortals just for the hell of it?
Why not? They paid to be here.
This is true.
If there's ever a time that you would get away with it, now is kind of the time.
Why not just start using overpowering dread then? Let's go for it.
I mean, because you'll emotionally traumatize people and turn what they came for fun into. But no, do it.
Like the methodical savagery of overpowering dread's description, I would say there very much fits with the doing the Freddy Krueger and just dragging a sparking claw across a metallic tube.
Frisia would probably have the sense to ask Autumn Fright, like, how intense this can be.
It's Halloween.
So using a contract's fully, like...
Oh, do as your heart desires.
Okay. Frisia now has the implicit approval to do so.
Yeah.
Which is really what Frisia needs to do most things. So presence and intimidation plus weird.
And again, your presence and intimidation rolls have that +3 bonus that still applies here. You're still being empowered by the house.
+3. 3 successes versus Immortal's composure and weird.
Yep. You scare the shit out of people, the two of you together, across your efforts. The headless horseman and the iron wolf, as you end up being described throughout the majority of the night, are excellent new additions to the haunted house for the evening. Frisian, you harvest 5 glamour. Joe, you harvest 3 additional. And the night is filled with the screams of your victims.
Yay!
And that is where we will end for the week.
Usually we have to save that kind of phrasing for a vampire game.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.